Hello?
What the heck?
What?
I haven't seen you in 10 years.
Oh, I know. It's been a very, very long time. Hey guys, I'm Jessica. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something very exciting. We're talking about concerts, which if you guys don't know, concerts are like my forte. I love going to concerts. They're like my happy place and I go to them as often as possible. So I have a little bit of experience maybe going to a concert or two. So I thought I'd do a little tips and tricks video. It's going to be survival tips for like GA concerts. I have an article up here that I actually pulled up that I'm pulling a bunch of tips off of. So I will link that article down below if you want to check that out and get more other tips, but I'm also going to be pulling them out of my brain because I have a little bit of experience doing this, so I might know a thing or two. But before I get into this, I just want to make a comment saying, yes, I'm not wearing any makeup before anyone says it. I did have an allergic reaction, which is why my eyes look really red. So I am not supposed to put anything on my eyes, and if I, can't really do eyeshadow or any foundation around this area, so then it'll look weird because my foundation does not match my skin, so I'll have a weird mark on them, and just the coloration would be weird, and if I do my eyebrows, then it would look weird because they'd be really dark. So I'm just not doing anything today because it'll just look weird if I do because I can't do anything to my eyes. So before anyone says anything, I know. Alright, let's get into this. I'm going to try and not make this video like 8,000 years long. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's just get into the video. Okay, the first tip is if you're planning on being front row, make sure you arrive early. Now, do check into the venue prior to arriving, because I know a lot of venues are like, you can't arrive before 8 a.m., you can't arrive before noon, you can't arrive before this time. And it all depends on the venue. Now, I've had it where I've arrived and we've been the first ones there, and it's been like in the afternoon or like getting closer to the show, but I've also been where I've arrived at 9 in the morning and there's someone else there already before me. So definitely look on Twitter or other social media and figure out what time people tend to be arriving for this tour in particular, and for that artist in particular as well. If it's a bigger artist and a bigger venue, chances are people will be arriving earlier than later, especially when the demographic of the artist is a more teen demographic. For example, Why Don't We? People do tend to arrive, not as much anymore because they don't tend to do as many GA shows, but when they had GA shows and everything was GA, people tended to arrive quite early, and that is a concert that I arrived at 9 a.m. at, and there was still someone else in front of us in line. We were the second ones there, so keep that in mind. Definitely look on social media, ask around from friends, figure out what time you think you should arrive based on that and how early you're willing to wait. But yeah, if you did want to be front row, if you want to be barricade, definitely arrive as early as you possibly can because you never really know when people are going to show up. It's so different depending on the city and the artist and too, where there's so many different variations. On the weather, people arrive earlier if it's a nice day out. Like, just arrive early and just make sure you check the website because you don't want to arrive then be like, you can't be here yet, and have to leave because that sucks. Alright, moving on. This is another one which I don't typically do, but it is a good tip that I found in here that I thought I would just throw out there. It's bring a printed ticket as well. Now, for me, I like to have my tickets printed out. I will pay the extra $2 to get the ticket shipped to my house to have a physical copy of the ticket opposed to having it on my phone. But I know a lot of people don't like to do this. They like to just have it on their phone because it's easy, it's simple, it's what they just, it's just what they do. For me in particular, I like to get the actual physical tickets, like the hard copy tickets, just like these ones. You don't have to do this. It is nice just in case, your phone dies or something happens and it's not working. It does give you that option to be able to scan the ticket. So if you do have the option to print it out at home, you don't even have to spend the extra money. A lot of times you can just pick it up at will call or get it shipped to like a local place that's like a Ticketmaster agent or whatever it is. I would preferably do that 99.9% of the time. So I definitely do recommend getting a physical copy just in case, because you never know when your phone's gonna die. You never know when your phone's gonna, freeze, or if the app's gonna crash or whatever might happen. So yeah, I definitely just recommend bringing a physical copy just in case. The next one is never assume you can buy tickets at the door, which is 100% true. A lot of times they do sell tickets at the door. A lot of places, even like arenas and stuff, do hold tickets for day of purchases. So you can go to the box office the day of the show. Make sure you're there before the box office even opens, because those tickets go like that and there's lineups and those tickets sell so fast, especially when it's sold out. So definitely try and buy your tickets ahead of time. I mean, a lot of places it does say you can buy tickets at the door or at the box office or whatever, but don't assume that every single time you're going to be able to, because like I said, people line up at the box office and they could sell at the box office or not even have any available because they could have sold out online prior to, and you won't have tickets to the show, and that just sucks, especially if you've gone all the way there, wherever the venue might be for you, but all the way to the venue and then you don't have a ticket and it's sold out. It definitely sucks, so definitely try and buy them prior to the actual day of. Plus, most of the time it's cheaper if you buy it. I know that it's like smaller shows, it's like $15 advanced and then $20 at door. So alright, next is buy your tickets as far as possible in advance, which is kind of what I just said. You never know if it's going to sell out, and I've talked about this in other videos prior to this one about StubHub and SeatGeek and all that kind of stuff, and my SeatGeek promo code is down below, $20 off your first purchase. It's not like, I'm not sponsored by SeatGeek, but I do have a code, and it's like a friends and family referral code, so if you guys want to check that out, it is down below. You will get $20 off your first purchase, and it'll help me out. It's like a, you save 20, I save 20 kind of thing, which I would greatly appreciate. But yeah, so $20 off your first purchase off SeatGeek, so that is down below if you wanted to check that out. But yeah, it's the way things work now, you can buy them more last minute with these resale things such as SeatGeek and people reselling them on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. But most of the time, I like to buy my tickets way in advance. I like to buy them during pre-sale. I like to buy them during regular sale, at least the first week of regular sale. Because you never know when they're going to sell out, and you kind of just have to anticipate it based on the artist and kind of just go from there, and maybe even off of other shows if, you know, there's other shows prior to that show or other tours. For example, like Justin Bieber, I would never wait last minute to buy my ticket just because I know if I want a good seat, I can either pay the face value price from Ticketmaster, or chances are, unless I want to wait till like the hour before, any sort of floor seat is probably going to be super, super, super expensive, super jacked up in price, because they're going to be selling like that. Selling super, super fast. I mean, pre-sale has already been selling out really fast for certain shows. Yeah, definitely try and buy your tickets as early as possible. Obviously, depending on the artist, like I said. And I can do a whole nother video about, like, buying tickets and stuff if you want, about VIP and like regular ticket purchases and stuff like that, kind of tips and tricks of how to, you know, handle that situation. But yeah, I just try and buy them early, and also like has any of that like stress of like, oh my god, am I gonna get a ticket day of? Am I gonna get a ticket a week before? Just kind of, you know, can relax and enjoy and like look forward to the show, not like, you know, worried at all. The next one is don't be afraid to attend a show by yourself if someone is able to come with you. Now this is a tip that I wanted to add in. It's not something that I personally do, but it's something that a lot of my friends have done, and I've bought tickets by myself and then met up with people at the show. It's like GA shows like this one, and you can just meet up with people there. However, I'm going to say this. GA shows are some of the best shows to go by yourself because you meet so many people. If you arrive early and you're waiting in line, you will talk to the people on either side of the line of you. You'll talk to people around you sitting like, or standing in the section that you're standing in. You meet people, so although you might arrive to the show by yourself and not purchase a ticket with someone, the fact that you can meet so many people just by hanging around there, which is one of the things I absolutely love about concerts, is how many people you can meet. It's not that bad going by yourself to GA shows because you will meet people there. Might take a little bit, but talk to people, just kind of socialize, and you all are there for the same reasons, so you all have at least that common ground. So don't be afraid to go by yourself if it's something you really want to go see. Obviously make sure you're staying safe, but yeah, if you do want to go to a show by yourself, GA shows are definitely the way to go. The next one is make sure you pack a water or something. So I can't enforce this enough. Bring water, stay hydrated, do not get heat stroke, it sucks. And if you're going super early in the morning, then bring maybe 2 or 3 bottles of water and drink them, and make sure you drink them. You don't want to get heat stroke, you don't want to get sunburnt, you don't want to get, you know, hypothermia. So dress according to the weather and pack according to the weather. If it's going to be super, super hot out and the sun is going to be blazing, bring sunscreen or put on sunscreen in the morning, and then, I mean, you might not be able to even bring it into the venue depending on the venue, but definitely put it on in the morning, and bring water. I know you can't bring it inside, but finish it before you go inside. And yeah, just bring a bottle of water, just like a plastic bottle of water, or if you want to save the turtles, bring your reusable bottle and just make sure you dump it out before you go inside. And also that way, if you do bring a reusable one, you can bring it inside and then just refill it with tap water once you get inside the venue, which is nice, and you can save quite a bit of money. Check into the venue, because I know a lot of places are allowing you to bring in sealed bottles of water. Like, I'm just going to show you a picture. Like this Aquafina bottle of water. Like, that's sealed from a manufacturer. You can bring that into the venue, but it depends on the venue. Like I said, it's very much like a single serving. Options are allowed in to certain places. Like I know that in Seattle for Justin, I looked and you are allowed to bring in a sealed bottle of water. So I'm probably going to do that because it's like $6 inside sometimes. So check into your venue, check on the website, email them, call someone, figure it out. But yeah, bring water. Do not get heat stroke. It is not fun. Trust me. And going along with that is make sure, well actually the next 2 things I'm going to say is make sure you bring snacks. Now, for me, I always bring granola bars and I always bring something for lunch if we're going to be gone for lunch, or I plan on what we're going to eat down there. You don't want to be hungry, you don't want to feel weak, you don't want to, especially when you're going to a pit, like a mosh pit kind of thing, you do not want to be, dehydrated and starving, and it's just not a good situation to be in. So pack accordingly, bring water, bring snacks, bring food, or plan to go and buy something and figure out where you're going to go to buy something, because sometimes these venues are in the middle of nowhere and there's no real restaurants around. And then sometimes it's like, hey, there's a food court down the hall. So it's like, you never really know, but just in case, make sure you bring something and dress according to the weather. Like I said, that's the next thing I want to say is dress comfortable and confident and what you want to dress in, but make sure you're dressing according to the weather, because you do not want to show up in a freaking parka and then get heat stroke, or you don't want to show up in shorts and a tank top and then get hypothermia. So make sure you check the weather. If it's going to rain, bring an umbrella, and if you're bringing an umbrella, bring a plastic bag to put the umbrella in so then it doesn't get your bag wet. Or if you're going to ditch your umbrella outside, like I know a lot of people do, find a hiding place prior to, doors opening by quite a bit, so then you can find a place to stash your umbrella while the show's going on. The next one is also very important, and it's bring in as little valuables into the show as possible. So don't necessarily go and bring, your laptop or your iPad or whatever, or your AirPods to the show prior because you think you're going to want it in line or whatever, and then have to bring it into the show. Not a good idea, especially in mosh pits. You never know. Bring in, I would see personally, the best sort of situation for a GA mosh pit is to have a fanny pack. That way it's on the front of you, but you don't have to worry about it being over your shoulder and people pulling it down or like getting like moved around. So a fanny pack is the ideal situation. I always go with a backpack. The issue with the backpack is it's on your back. So when people are super tight in the back of you, you never know who could be like rummaging through your bag. So take a backpack, put it on the front of you, and so that way, you can see. No one's like gonna be like, let me check inside. Like, no one's gonna do that. You'll be fine. With this being said, I've never gotten anything stolen at a show before. I need to adjust this so I can sit on the floor. Hold on. Ignore my bag of donation stuff. We're gonna just pretend that isn't there. But yeah, bring in as little as possible, because I've never gotten anything stolen, but I know people that have gotten stuff stolen, and it absolutely sucks. Wallets and stuff like that have gotten stolen before, and it's just not a fun situation to be in. So definitely bring in as little as possible. Don't bring a ton of valuables. Leave them in the car if you can, or don't even bring them in the first place. I mean, I always bring whatever I need and nothing more, besides like snacks and stuff. I always bring extra snacks. But besides that, don't bring in anything extra. Next one is like, don't overdo it and know your limits. If you're in a mosh pit, if you're in a crowd and you're getting to the point where you're in pain and you're suffering and it's just like not worth it anymore, tell security. Do not stay in a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable and unsafe. Tell security and they'll pull you out of there, and they'll get you some water, they'll get you to first aid, they'll get you to wherever you need to be. If you're having a panic attack, if you're having an anxiety attack, if you're having any sort of issue that you need to get out of the mosh pit, tell security and they will take you out of there. However, I have been in some venues where they don't have a barricade and then security doesn't stand at the front, so you can't get out like that. But every single show that I've ever been to, if anybody ever needs to get out of the crowd, it's one thing getting in. People aren't necessarily the nicest getting in, but if you're trying to get out of the crowd and you turn around and say, I need to get out of here, I'm literally going to die, people will part like a sea, and you will go straight out through the back and just keep telling them, I need to get out, I need to get out, I need to get out. And people will let you out, because the reality is, when you leave, they're one person closer, and everyone is very, very selfish in that situation, where they want to be the closest they can be to the artist. Obviously, everyone's in the same situation, especially about the front half of the pit, is like everyone wants to be nice and close, and so everyone's gonna like get out of your way and let you out because they want to be closer, and so they'll let you out so then you don't die, but also they can get closer. So just tell people, and no matter what, you can get out of a crowd. Just let someone know. You don't want to get to the point where you're passing out and stuff, because that is not fun, and then having to drag a person who's passed out of a crowd is also not fun. I have seen it, and it's not a good situation, so don't get to that point. It's just not good. The next one, which I've kind of touched on before, is don't be shy. Talk to people. People at concerts are some of the best people you can possibly meet. As of personal experience, you can meet some of the greatest people there and some of your best friends. So definitely just talk to people. And I'm someone who's very, very shy and isn't necessarily super confident talking to people who I don't know. It's definitely something that I'm working on and I'm improving on, but it's something I've always struggled with ever since I was little. So definitely talk to people if you can, but talk to them and you can meet some great friends. And you guys all have that same common interest of you enjoy the same artist. You're all there for the same reason, especially if you're going there early for the show and like meeting people in line. You're all there and you're all like, you have that common link, and chances are there's other artists or there's other things that you guys have in common. So talk to them, and you never know, you know, what great friendships you can get out of it. Concerts are such a unique thing where everyone is there for the same reason. So just like have fun and be yourself. All right, final 2 things I'm gonna say is if you are going to a mosh pit, a GA thing, something there are no assigned seats. If you want to buy merch, there's 2 ways you can do it. Actually there's 3 ways you can do it. First one is you can potentially lose your place at the barricade or close up by waiting and buying the merch. If you're trying to get barricade in front row and all that stuff, do not buy merch before, because chances of you getting back there are slim to none. So go to the bathroom before, and you know, before you go into the venue, and do whatever you need to do before you go into the venue, so once you get in, you can go straight up to the front and not move. That is the first option, is to, you know, lose your spot and buy it, but not the one I recommend. The second option is you can buy it after. You can buy it after the show's over. You are risking, however, if it's something you really, really want, you're risking it being sold out. You're risking it being, you know, unavailable. Not the best situation sometimes. It can be sold out. Lines can be super, super long. So you're risking it potentially not being able to get that merchandise. The last option, which is personally one that I do as often as I possibly can, is if you're going with a friend. Depending on how busy it's filling up, if you have the opportunity and time to do so, have your friend hold your spot, stand with their legs apart, with their arms on their hips, you know, holding the spot so you can get back to them, and run to the merch stand. Go there, buy your stuff as fast as humanly possible, and get back there. And I know some people kind of are like, why are you cutting in front of me? When you're like, excuse me, like I had to go to the bathroom, or I had to go buy merch, or I was doing this. If you have to pee, you have to pee. If you have to go buy, if you really, 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 really want something from the merch stand, you know, you do what you gotta do. And my recommendation is, if you and your friend are both wanting something from the merch stand, is get the person to buy both of them. I've done that. I've been the person that held like the spot on the mosh pit floor or whatever it is, barricade or whatever it is, and I give my money to my friend, and she goes and buys it, and then she comes back and then gives me my stuff, and then it's all good. So many people do that. It does depend on the venue and depends how crazy it's going to be. Like I said, concerts that I go to is more relaxed. It's not like a full-on like, oh, mosh pit. It's like much more like a woo mosh pit kind of thing, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, I think that's it. This video is going to be quite long, and this is just like specifics for standing GA mosh pit concerts. If you guys want to see, like I said, ticket buying or other, you know, situations of like amphitheaters or concerts in the summer or concerts in the winter, or tips and tricks with like weather or whatever it might be, let me know. I'm definitely willing to do some of those. I'll probably do some of them anyways with like VIP ticket purchasing and stuff. My throat is sore. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to sign off now, get off the floor because my feet and body is numb. But I will talk to you guys very, very soon in another video. I'm going to get back on my game, back into action, back on the grind. I am going to playlist live at the end of February. I leave in like 18 days or something crazy, like 17 days. I'm so freaking excited, guys. You have no idea how excited I am. So yeah, I will be vlogging that whole trip. So I'm going to Disney World, and I'm going to Playlist Live, and I'm going to have a super, super fun time. And I hope some of you guys are going, and I can meet some of you guys. Let me know if you are. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you very, very soon with another video. Okay, bye.